evolution, because I see the face of things to come.
I'm Krista Nordstrom, and I am the CSO for Bonobo Revolution.
I'm Dr. Tamsin. I'm an evolutionary biologist and a primatologist, and I am also the CEO of Team Innovation Group.
What is Bonobo Revolution?
We have some big problems that need to be solved, and we need all the voices we can get at the table coming up with solutions. We know the more diverse voices are present at the table, the richer and more intelligent our answers, strategies, solutions are. A lot of women, a lot of girls start out very excited about science. Of course, we see it in leadership and everywhere else, that where they go and they just disappear, and we're not represented at the table, and so therefore we're not contributing our voices to society's collective intelligence. To me, this is one of the three biggest leverage points on all the big problems that we face, climate change, poverty, inequality, all these things. It's education and opportunity for women and girls is the number one leverage point. So many women have been derailed from their professional careers because of unwanted sexual attention. This is just like alpha chimpanzee stuff. And of course, people start saying, well, maybe that's human nature. Maybe that's just how it is. Mm-hmm. Our other cousin, the bonobo, is a very secretive little primate, little ape. We're equally related to them and chimpanzees. They look like a chimpanzee, just a little bit slimmer in build. But they have a very different social system, and they're living secretively in the Congo forest. So we're just finding out more about their society. They do not have male domination. Males still want to be on top, as do we all.
Right.
Oh, did I say that? No. But they can't, because what happens is if they start harassing a female or start bullying, the other females come down from the trees and prevent that domination. So the society becomes very egalitarian. Nobody's dominating anyone else. Female intelligence can come out, and they provide leadership in terms of finding new foods, cultural practices, just like we do. So recast the narrative of our human nature. These are both in our nature. And so we can tap this to achieve the results we want. We can consciously evolve the future that we want. It's in us already. Women are able and actually designed to come together and support each other to make sure our voices are heard so that our entire society can benefit.
Just change the paradigm. We're not as much like chimpanzees as we thought. Check out the bonobos, put yourself in the world and put this bold vision out there that's based in evolutionary principles. We can do this because once we are involved in decision making at an equal representation to our population, we make things happen. We make intelligent decisions. When you called out Bonobo Revolution, I remember that. I remember when you made the first t-shirts. I remember getting my first one and I loved it so much. And I just kept thinking, we have to do something with this. This has a lot of potential. And when you and I started really going out there with the message, evolving our collective intelligence by equality and solidarity, that people respond to that in a really positive way. It's about our human collective intelligence.
You've worked with women's issues and helping sexual assault survivors. So I thought you were the perfect person to take this out into the world, because I know your passion and your experience. So thank you so much for coming on board, Krista.
I can't be more appreciative of the opportunity to work with you. I mean, you and I have been friends for what, like mostly 30 years going on?
18, which is almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. That's right. It's so much longer than that.
But we look better.
I agree with that. Collective intelligence includes everybody. It includes both genders and everything fluid in between, literally everybody. And so to call this a women's movement, yes, I mean, the goal is to increase women's leadership, but the real principle here is collective intelligence. And I think that that in and of itself is what makes this revolution so different and so catchy. But it's not just a women's thing, and how to include men in the conversation. And I think we have a way of doing that with Bonobo Revolution.
It's opening up new opportunities for men to be themselves, support, the larger society. A lot of men are really crying out for this because, and with the t-shirts, we've seen it's the men who want the t-shirts because they want to support, but they don't know how. And I feel like a lot of men are afraid because they don't know what the boundaries are, which is kind of crazy to us. We're like, well, you just act like a decent human being. How hard is it? But it's harder than that. It is harder than that because you're bringing a lot of that cultural baggage with you of, you've got to be this strong, dominant man, and that's how you get rewarded by other strong, dominant men. And that's really the paradigm we're trying to recast.
We have behaviors that are so deeply ingrained in our culture. To raise women's representation and leadership is to change the world.
Really inviting men, women, children, everyone to raise some hell, and let's just consciously evolve the world we want all together.
Let's talk about raising hell for a second.
Oh, okay.
There's a big sexual harassment, sexual assault piece to Bonobo Revolution. And we've talked about this. It came out of how you perceived women being treated in the media and by certain candidates in the election in 2016. And that resonates particularly strongly with me as a rape survivor and also a domestic abuse survivor, and in terms of helping other women through these struggles. I see it with that lens too. So much progression for women is halted at a very early stage, whether it's lack of access to education or it's being harassed in middle school and in high school or experiencing a sexual assault at a young age. Really distorts your view of yourself as a young woman growing up into the world. It distorts and changes how you feel secure going forward. So the world needs to be safer for girls. We do have to stand up for each other and stand up for ourselves, because we are the teachers of what behavior we want and expect from men in charge. Pretty much, we're the ones telling them because they don't know. They don't know, they don't know. We have to educate them. And so sometimes you do kind of get a little loud. You do have to raise hell. You do have to say, look, and intervene in something that you see is not right. 1 in 4 women experience sexual assault by the time they're my age. The conversation that needs to be out in the open.
Silence is our shame.
Silence is the killer.
Yeah, it's our shame, and that's what kills our participation. But we really have to create this kind of norm of like, see something, say something. If a woman is being harassed and distressed, come down from the trees. Just like those Bonobo ladies and be like, no, that's not how we're doing business. I mean, Me Too couldn't be any more perfect for Bonobo Revolution. I mean, that's really what we're talking about. It happened to me too. And now I'm coming on the record and I'm going to back up my sisters, because one came out and another and another. And then all of a sudden it's not he said, she said anymore. It's a movement.
Raising hell is necessary. And nothing easy ever happened without a little bit of hell raising.
Well-behaved women seldom make history.
Good one. Lift women up and help them feel safe and help them move through the world and take ownership of who they are and their achievements and their accomplishments and their power. I think that's important.
Super excited about the responses we've been getting from men. The Women's March coming up. I would love to see women wearing their Bonobo Revolution shirts with pride. Want to show them the shirt back there?
Yeah.
Hey, Floppy Tip Flo. I love her.
There she is.
Revolution, baby.
Let the revolution begin.
Yeah.
Get back.
So we love our girls. Those are our badass bonobo biker girls. Oh, I love that. Fight the power. And that's, so we call her Floppy Tit Flo, but we need names for our other girls.
We need names for our girls. We'll have a naming contest. What do you think about that?
I love that idea. Let's do that. But
Yeah, oh, I got my badge. I'm all
I
excited.
love it. She seems badass biker Beatrix.
Stickers,
Oh my God, that looks great.
buttons. So
Oh,
we can
yeah.
flag people out for their marches for sure.
We're going to do this thing. It's just people helping people, getting more voices into the solution space, and so that we can create the solutions we need. I mean, we just don't have that much time to deal with so many problems. And we know that women take a longer view on everything, and whereas men, just shoot their sperm everywhere. But that's a whole nother evolutionary story, which we could go into on another episode.
We'll talk about that a different time. We think about consequences for the other and for the future. Definitely.
It's about networks. It's about collectivity, about collective intelligence. And I think women are really in the position to bring that together to create a better future. So I'm very excited about this. Our listeners are welcome to tweet questions they'd like us to address on our podcast, the hashtag Bonobo Revolution, or you can just go to, at Bonobo Revolt. But also, if you want to name our badass biker babes, please join in.
We want everyone to join this revolution with us. We want all voices heard. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear what work you're doing. And we have our website up now. It's www.bonoborevolution.com. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter right now at Bonobo Revolt. Come on over, join. You can get yourself a t-shirt, a badge, a button, a sticker. You can shoot us an email, send me a story about what you're doing. I'd love to hear it. And we'd love to have you on our podcast. So
I hope we see you out there in the streets raising hell.
See me out there in the streets raising hell, that's for sure.
I'll be there in my shirt, my floppy tit Flo. I'll be rocking it. Oh yeah, well, yeah. You're all welcome to the Bonobo Revolution, because the revolution is here.